watching State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. My name is John Chrismo and this show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. Today, we're talking about how to jumpstart your real estate career. For those of you who just got your real estate license or are in the process of getting your real estate license and want to know what to do next. Now, you might be inclined to right away go try to sign up with a real estate broker because that does seem like the logical next step to activate your license so you can begin selling real estate in Florida. But today we're going to break down some essential steps that you should take before choosing a real estate broker to truly set your real estate career up for success. From understanding the full picture of how to build a successful real estate business, not just the laws and rules. They're the focus of the pre-licensing course that's required to get your real estate license so you can pass your real estate exam and get your license. So let's talk about how to jumpstart your career. And today I've got no pre-planned slides loaded up here. We're going to keep this very free form, very simple and direct as I can make it. So I'm not just a real estate instructor. I'm not just the director at the Tampa School of Real Estate. I'm also a real estate broker who holds multiple broker licenses. And on top of helping thousands of people pass their real estate exams, we've also helped thousands of people launch their real estate careers and take their real estate career to that next level, whether that's starting a real estate team, building a real estate brokerage, whatever it may be. So from that perspective, and simplifying this back down now to somebody in your shoes that just got licensed, that's looking for those next steps of what do I do? Where do I get started? Why shouldn't I join a real estate brokerage right away? And so that question of why not join a real estate brokerage right away? Now, my question for you. Is what are you going to do once you join this brokerage? And you might say, well, I'm going to go and I'm going to train. Great. Exactly. Yes, you do need training. But what do you really need training on? What do you need training on? What do you plan to even do with your real estate license? Are you going to do this full-time or part-time? Where do you plan on getting your leads? Are you looking for a broker that needs them? And how do you even know what questions to ask when you're thinking about choosing a real estate broker? Training is important. Another thing people think of all the time is commission splits. No, that's important too. Don't get me wrong, because that's the money. And you got to make the numbers make sense, but focusing on the commission split alone isn't going to make you successful. Just because you got 100% commission or 80% or 90% or 50% or 15%, any way you want to spin it, the commission split alone doesn't make you successful. It's what does that commission split actually justify? What are you getting in exchange for that commission split that you're giving to a broker? Or more so, if we're talking 100% that you get to keep, because there's lots of 100% brokerages out there where essentially you get your entire commission. Maybe there's some transaction fee, some errors and omissions insurance fee, listing fee, little fees like that maybe, compared to, say, a 70-30 split where you get 70% and the broker keeps 30%. Now, as a new agent, having somebody with a vested interest in you, I think is important. Because if all they're going to get is some flat fee that they get, whether that's you or a top producer, they're probably more likely focused on the top producer if they're getting the same revenue from you or that top producer. And not to say that that's right or wrong. Real estate isn't about as far as how you want to run your business, right or wrong. It's how you want to run it, how you want to operate it. There's several real estate brokerages out there that are luxury boutique brokerages, and they're not looking to take on new agents, or if they do it very selectively. And so if you're coming to a broker and you're trying to make a good impression, and this is a more selective broker, there's a lot of brokers out there that are not selective at all, that will recruit anybody it is that they can. And so there's lots of those opportunities that are out there. If you've got a real estate license, there's several real estate brokers that'll bring you onto their team, no questions asked. But then there are more luxury boutique brokerages where maybe they, again, are more selective with who they devote resources to. And if it is a smaller operation that is more focused on large transactions, maybe not as much of a volume, that has to operate differently than a brokerage that is going to operate on volume, that again maybe operates at a more standard price point of $300,000, $400,000 compared to $3 or $4 million. And where do you want to land in all of this? And so what's really the most important out of all this here, even more important than the training, even more important than the commission split, is what is your business plan? What is your business plan? Because that'll dictate what type of commission split makes sense based on what you need from the brokerage. That'll dictate what type of training that you need based on what you're trying to do with your business plan. Because you may be trying to work real estate full-time, or you may be trying to do it part-time. Ultimately, it's a lot of the same mechanics, but stay with me here, because if you're thinking about doing this part-time, another option to consider is working as a referral agent, because a referral agent doesn't even do the deals. They just refer the leads to agents who do. And as long as you have an active real estate license, you could earn referral fees. And I've signed one as much as 50% before, meaning that you can get 50% of the commission just for making the referral, if 50% is the agreed upon referral fee. You see how that could be super advantageous to not just even part-time agents, but full-time agents as well. Because as a full-time agent, maybe it's a client that's a little bit outside of your area you typically work, and it would be extra travel time for you, and maybe you already have a really good contact that you know you could refer them to. They'll do a good job. They'll get the deal closed. You refer that to them for maybe not 50%. That is a high amount. That's half of the commission. But maybe if the deal's ready to go, done deal, you just need somebody to go take it across the finish line, that's where maybe 50% makes sense. 25% is a much more typical, common type of ask, much more reasonable, I would say, speaking from my experience as a real estate broker as well. 25%, yes, it's a large chunk of change if you're on the referral end of this, because even if this is only a $10,000 commission, that's $2,500 in a referral fee. If it's a $100,000 commission, that's a $25,000 referral fee. So that 25% can be pretty significant. And that's, again, just for making the connection. It could be 30%, it could be 10%. You can negotiate this referral fee on a transaction basis, on a client basis. It's a very simple one-page form that you would typically do for a referral fee. And most referral brokerages offer some standard referral form for you to use. Maybe that wasn't why you got into real estate, but maybe that's how you get started. Because what that now allows you to do is, since you don't have to service clients, you don't have to join the realtors, you don't have to pay for the MLS fees. You don't have to pay for lock boxes and lockbox access and signs and business cards and things of that nature that may be provided to you by your brokerage in exchange for a higher commission split. Or at least that's the idea of it. It really kind of depends on a case-by-case basis, and that's why you want to have your own business plan so you come to the table with these brokerages, whether they're selective or not, because with the ones that are not selective, I mean that's where you really want to make sure you do your homework to make sure you're making the right choice. Because maybe that brokerage, if it is a 100% model, maybe it does have some sort of monthly fee to be a member at that brokerage. And in exchange, you're now getting 100% commission. Or maybe there's not a monthly fee, but again, there's a higher commission split. And so maybe that monthly fee could make sense in lieu of the higher commission split. You get a much better grasp on this when you take what's called post-licensing. So to get your real estate license, you have to do pre-licensing. Pre-licensing, as the name implies, is before licensing. Whereas post, as the name implies, is after licensing. Now, if you're like me, you see another FREC required course because this does satisfy FREC hours. Because this is what's required to renew your license. And if you're like me, many years ago when I got my real estate license, and I see agents every single day that are like me many, many years ago, and that's why I'm here today broadcasting this video to you live to help save you from some of the mistakes that I made when I got started in my real estate career. And one of those biggest mistakes was not taking this post-licensing course as soon as I got my real estate license. Passing my exam, I did pass on my first try, but thank God I took a practice exam before I went to go try to take the exam, because otherwise I probably would have failed miserably, because I didn't know how much I didn't know until I started studying. But anyways, I'd burnt myself on that. I had stretched out the process like 11 months between taking the course and getting my license. So a lot of things that I did wrong, but also I was working a full-time job. I still kind of had one foot in the door, and it was that final nail in the coffin thing that said, I got to hit the books and start studying out. I got to try to take this exam. That's what I said first, and I took a practice exam, realized I need to hit the books and start studying, but it was a certain event at the company I was working for that I still had a job there, but the company wasn't growing, and so there was an opportunity for me to grow. And essentially, it was an annual review that I was capped out to make a long story short. And I was like, okay, I could stay here in this position because they're downsizing, they're eliminating positions, and maybe, something will open up, I can move ahead, but that's a big if, because the company is rapidly downsizing. It's still around today, but it's half the amount of employees, from 180,000 down like the 90,000. And so that's a lot. It's been some time since I've worked there, but definitely not the right direction. Typically, you want to go in as a company of growing. So I was there more towards the peak of the company. And then as it started to turn, a lot of things changing. They weren't adapting too quickly enough. And I speak to a lot of people every day who are in those same boats where they're working in some sort of organization where they don't know the certainty of their future. And so I no longer knew the certainty of my future with that company. So I sought out to go do something that I'd already started. Another thing I had my other foot in the door on, which was real estate. I already kind of dabbled in real estate, a little bit of wholesaling and investing, type of flipping type of things, trying to do like that, but I just simply didn't have the know-how. And that's my analysis from now. I didn't realize that back then. I thought I knew everything back then, but now I realize how much I didn't know. And that includes, once I did actually get my real estate license, join a real estate brokerage, basically sight unseen in terms of knowing what to do, because I didn't take this course yet, because passing my exam, I did do it on the first try, but after kicking my butt studying, because I dragged this out so long, I didn't just take the state exam right away after taking the course. Because of that, I didn't want to take post-licensing right away. I wanted to wait until the renewal deadline because I wanted to see, if I was going to even stick around in real estate. Not too long later, I eventually quit my job because another real estate agent, probably this is maybe a month or two into it, maybe 3 months at the most into having my license, being active with a brokerage. And one of the agents said, you'll never be successful at this unless you are full-time. And I hadn't sold anything yet. I hadn't really even figured out what I was doing. I had designed some business card, wasted a bunch of time. But I said, you know what? You're right. I've been wanting to quit this job anyways. It's about to get into like the crazy time of the year for that company. So I put in my 2 weeks notice. And they all said I would be back. They all said, oh, real estate, that's a load of crap. And I bet if you've been thinking about getting into real estate, or maybe you just got your license, you've probably had a lot of those naysayers in your life as well. Maybe they are past coworkers. Maybe your current coworkers, because I was still working at that job when I started in real estate. I hadn't done anything with it yet, and that's probably part of the reason why I was giving them enough reason to not believe in me, because I hadn't sold anything yet, but I was like, how hard could it be? Well, it is pretty difficult to kind of figure out on your own, and really that's what I was doing. Because I didn't take this post-licensing, I didn't have a business plan. I really didn't know the fundamentals of how to actually sell real estate. I didn't really even understand the offer and negotiation process and the closing process. I really didn't understand any of it. And so I was out there just kind of winging it and really getting nowhere. And it wasn't until I went and paid a sales trainer like 10 times the amount of cost of what this post-licensing course cost for some like boot camp thing that opened my eyes to how little I actually knew and how to really kind of lay out my business. And then finally I took my post-licensing before my renewal, because I had to do it before my renewal, otherwise I was going to lose my license. And at this point, I already quit my job. I already invested all this money. So I was like, why would I give it up now? So I went ahead and rushed through it. But when I took this course and realized, wow, this was all the stuff I learned in that sales training class. Wouldn't it have been great if I took this course when I first got my license? And so you don't want to be like me when I got started, because it was a rough road. You can achieve success so much faster when you know what you're doing, when you're getting to this much more prepared. Now, you don't want to lose momentum either. So look, if joining a real estate brokerage is something you feel like you need to do, you absolutely can do it as soon as you're licensed. But you really want to take this post-licensing course as soon as you can. If you're doing our video on demand option, which features me as the instructor, and even if you've gone to another school before to get your license, you still need help passing, check out our exam prep tools. But if you have already passed your exam, you could still come to us for post-licensing, because our post-licensing curriculum, in my opinion, is the best post-licensing curriculum in all of Florida, because our curriculum focuses on the business planning, the time management, the business fundamentals, prospecting, getting a flow of clients, so that way you're not hoping for that next deal, but you have a steady flow of deals constantly where you're working with multiple clients. And rather than talking about basic concepts of appraisal, you're learning how to price property to sell. So there's so many fundamentals in that post-licensing course, which is why you want to get enrolled in that as soon as possible. Start building out your business plan, because with that, you'll be able to understand what commission split makes sense, because you'll understand more of what that brokerage is providing you. And you'll be able to understand based on what you're trying to do. Because let's say you are a full-time agent and you need a website and a CRM and a way to generate leads, and you need training, because even if you've done sales and marketing and ran your own businesses and have a degree in marketing or whatever it might be, you're still going to need real estate specific training on how to actually get that business done, how to lay the framework of your business, which, if you've got all this other training experience, this is going to come a lot easier to you. But also at the same time, it can also be really good to be a blank slate, because if you do need all of that training specifically, you could really get sales training with that lens of real estate rather than trying to adapt your used car training to sales, although it can be done. It's been done very well before. I was speaking to somebody the other day who sells like $50,000 mattresses. And I'm like, wow, I didn't even know mattresses got that expensive. I thought my mattress was expensive, but apparently not. So you can adapt that training, but at the same time, and this is whenever I talk to somebody who does work in some sort of high level of sales, they know that they need the training, because that's usually how they got to that high level of sales. And if you're brand new to this, everyone's got to start somewhere, and it really is best to start in that field that ultimately you could build a lifelong career in, and real estate is that. You don't even have to be the realtor the whole life. You could build a team. You could start your own brokerage. You could become a real estate investor. There's so many additional avenues that you can gain through this path of obtaining your Florida real estate license and building a real estate career. But whether you want to do that part-time, whether you want to do that full-time, whether you want to earn referrals, whether you want to be a full-service agent actually doing the deals, maybe you want to work in commercial real estate, maybe you want to do business brokerage, maybe you want to work in industrial, doing factories, manufacturing, warehouses, maybe agricultural properties, horse ranches, orange groves, cattle ranches, whatever it may be. There's all of these different real estate specialties that are out there. There's a vast amount of opportunities for those who hold a Florida real estate license. So take the next step. To find out what to do exactly to get your real estate license, if you don't yet have it, go to licensefl.com. That'll take you right to our licensing steps. If you haven't passed your exam yet and you need the best tools in all of Florida to pass your exam, go to passfirsttry.com. And finally, if you do need to take that post-licensing course, go to postflorida.com. So wherever you may be on your journey, if you need the training for even beyond post-licensing, whether that be continuing education hours or training on sales and marketing with what we call Real Estate Pro University, we have so many options available. So visit these websites to learn more. Again, to get your real estate license, licensefl.com. To pass your exam, passfirsttry.com. To complete that post-licensing as soon as you've got your license or at the latest by your renewal deadline, postflorida.com. And if you have any questions about this, or you want to find out about even more opportunities, the Florida Real Estate Career Fair, Real Estate Pro University, we are your go-to source for real estate career education and training in Florida. We're the highest rated real estate school with over 5,000 five-star reviews. We want you to become our next success story. We want you to become part of the TSRE alumni army. So any questions, call us up 24/7, 813-333-2676. Visit us online at tampaschoolofrealestate.com as the central hub for everything. And reach out with anything we can answer for you, any way we can help you grow your real estate career. It's about all the time that we've got for today. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back next week on Wednesday for Ask the Instructor. Until then, have a fantastic weekend. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next week. So you just got your real estate license. How can you jumpstart your real estate business? The number one thing you should do before you do anything else is post-licensing. Now look, this is already a requirement, so you're gonna have to do it anyways, but here's why you wanna do it early. The sooner you do post-licensing, the sooner you're gonna learn the real-world concepts in post-licensing that will help you create a business plan, that'll help you plan for your success in real estate. Post-licensing is all about real-world topics that are usable, that'll help you grow your real estate business. And at Tampa School of Real Estate, we have the best post-licensing courses around. Find out more about how post-licensing can help you jumpstart your real estate career. Go to postflorida.com.